The Sheik, Mark Lewin, Bobo.
Oh,
all them guys.
those are, well, I know those guys. If I was telling Fred a story about Bull Curry scaring the heck out of me one time. But I tried wrestling through this gym class, and I was okay at it. And eventually my family moved from Michigan to Ohio, and the hockey in Ohio wasn't really very developed, but wrestling was huge there. And I kind of got swept into that by default. It wasn't anything that I planned. I wasn't wrestling since I was a little kid. I was not a prodigy of any sort, but I loved the sport. I loved the challenge of it, and it kind of just took over my life when I was in high school. And went on and wrestled overseas a year, competed in college at St. Lawrence University
in New York, right?
Yeah, and coached in. I started coaching when I was in Europe. I coached little kids in freestyle. They were mainly Greco-Roman wrestlers, and they knew nothing about freestyle, which is closest to the American style. And so I taught little kids there, and I enjoyed it. It was very fulfilling to do that. So when I came back to the States and did my college career, and then ended up in grad school, I was coaching at a local high school in the Boston area, Chelmsford High School, and was there for 3 years. And I was kind of bit by the coaching bug, and then ended up coming back to Ohio. First coaching stint was at Heidelberg College, and then my big break was at the University of Findlay, where I was for 9 years.
In Ohio.
Yes.
And then you end up at Chippewa Valley.
Oh yeah. Well, I went to a high school in Ohio from University of Findlay. I was at Eastern Michigan for 2 years, and then 8 years at Chippewa Valley.
Quite
so
a long
round
road,
about,
huh?
yeah.
From Motown burning to
Chippewa
Chippewa Valley.
Stops, yeah.
I know Mike Carr. Real well.
Yeah,
As a matter of
yeah.
fact, I grew up with Mike Carr in this
Is
area.
that right?
Yeah, he's just a couple miles from here.
Great
He-
coach.
He brought a state championship to Chippewa
Yes.
Valley. Talk about the Chippewa Valley sports, and of course Mike Carr winning that championship. That would have been fabulous, because a lot of times a lot of the wrestlers play football.
No, it was a great combination, and really anybody that's playing offensive or defensive line in football, they should be out for wrestling. It's a great complement. One complements the other, and our heavyweights were all football players, and they all ended up getting scholarships to play football. And you talk to those kids, and they all say, if I hadn't wrestled, I wouldn't have got my football scholarship. And the quarterbacks from Jeff Castle to Eddie Skineski to Andy Denreiter were all wrestlers, and they all ended up going on and either playing football or wrestling in college. So there was quite a unique meshing there of the two sports that really helped one another.
And I think that year they started out 0-2, won 12 straight to win the state
Oh no,
championship.
that was, and I loved that story myself, because that's something I use with my wrestling team. You can't let a couple losses get you down, and in fact, you can still be state champion.
What a motivator Mike Carr is.
Oh yeah, no, Mike, he was one of the first guys I met when I interviewed at Chippewa, and you know, he's done great things there, and is back in the game now.
And you've kind of stepped away, if you can, as we get ready to close. You had a neck injury, and right now you've stepped aside from wrestling.
Yeah, I've had my left leg reconstructed. I've had both my elbows operated on, 2 neck operations. I got a titanium plate in there now. I'm kind of like the bionic man.
Wow, I think Jim Robo could take you right now.
Is that, yeah, no, I'm out of the fight game.
He finally found somebody he can whip.
No, I won't even fight back now. Too much damage. So it's kind of a nice time to put that part of my life not completely away. I got a lot of kids that I coach that are wrestling in college, and I like to go out and watch them, and but just to be a spectator now, and it's a lot of fun to watch wrestling and appreciate the game without worrying about, you know, this kid's got to make weight, or how do we defend this technique or whatever, just to enjoy the sport. And I can now focus on writing.
And we got to also make a quick thank you to Susan Smiley, who really set us up being able to.
Oh, she's great, yeah.
She's a great
Great
writer,
writer.
news
Great
writer,
writer.
wrote for the Free Press for a while, and was an author herself. And we got to
Yes.
thank Susan for hooking us up here to get you on the show. And I know when your kids that wrestle go on and do some things in college, that's got to be very satisfactory to you.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you. We'll be right back as I'll come back and close it out with my final thought. The book is Motown Burning. We'll be right back.
Personal foul? Inactive activities on a glorious day.
Huh?
Let's get out there and play!
When do I get to be in? Uh-oh.
Hey, Reggie, frozen people can't talk.
PLA.
An hour a day.
I'm in. There are lots of great play ideas online, but don't stay too long.
Welcome back to Write with the Author. I want to thank my guest, John Jeff Fire. It is johnjefffire.com.
Yes.
That is the email address if you'd like to comment about his book or read it or pick it up. It's great reading, and there's a lesson from it. I think that you can come from the turbulation that we had in the 60s, still build it up, and get along together, no matter what race, color, wherever we come from. And I think that's really what Motown Burning really talks about, because we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
I think it's a fabulous book and makes for great reading. So if you want to, hit that email address. Also, if you'd like to talk about Right from the Author, you can email me at sportstv1000@yahoo.com. Again, that's sportstv1000@yahoo.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to hear what you think about the show, or if you want to talk about the books, or if you're an author and you'd like to come on the show, please contact me at sportstv1000@yahoo.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe Cochran. We'll see you next time.